In this tutorial, we'll create a Firebase real-time database saving and loading system. Let's take a look how we'll save and load data in this video. For saving, we'll enter the values such as gaming name, health and damage, and when we press save, the data will be saved on the real-time database under a child node players. For loading the data, we'll enter the gaming name, and when we press the load button, it will retrieve the player data for that particular gaming name. Let's jump into the project and start creating our system. There are two ways to build our system. First way is by using the REST client. We will use steps to make sure we don't skip anything. Step 1. Creating a project on Firebase console. Enter a unique project name and then move to the next step where you can enable Google Analytics. Step 2. Creating and enabling the real-time database. We will select the server closest to us. It will then ask us to start the database in either logged or test mode. Logged mode is when your project is going live with Google authentication and rules to maintain the integrity of the database. Test mode is for testing the functionality without any rules for 30 days. We will select test mode. Once the database is ready, go to the rules tab and check if the read and the write are not set to false. If they are set to false, just make them true. Step 3. Copy the Firebase database reference link. We will use this link as a reference to send and retrieve our data. After step 3, we will go to Unity. Step 4. Importing the REST client package. We can no longer access the asset store in the editor. So for importing the package, we'll have to open the asset store in a browser. We will be using this package for integrating the REST client in Unity. We will first add this package in our account. Then using the package manager, we will download and import this package into our project. Once it has completely imported, we can see a REST client folder in our project with the documentation for this package. Step 5. Integration setup. We will create a script and will name it Firebase. We also have to add this script as a component on a Firebase game object. We will also disable the UI interaction game object for now. Let's open Visual Studio for writing a code. Step 6. Save logic. We will first remove all the existing code and will create a public string Firebase link. This variable will hold the Firebase link that we copied from the Firebase console. We will then create a public void function called post2database, which will take player data as a parameter. Player data is a class that we created to store the gaming name, health and damage of the user. Let's now write the logic for post2database function. With the REST line, the code is very simple. We will use restline.post, which takes two parameters. First is the link. We will pass Firebase link plus .json there. Second is the object that we want to post. In our case, it's the player data. Next, we will go to the UI interaction script and remove the previous code. Then in the save to file function, we will find the Firebase script and will call the post2database function and will pass player data as its parameter. We will debug the name. Let's go to Unity and paste the Firebase reference link that we copied from the real-time database. Just make sure there is a backslash at the end of the string. Now let's play the project and pass the values Panchtanmatra Studios with a health of 100 and damage 1000. The data gets stored on the database under a child with a very weird name. The reason for this is the post function. We will now try the put function. For using the put function, we will just change the restline.post to restline.put. We will change the link parameter and will add a player data.name in it. This will make sure that there is no child with weird name. If we play the game now and pass the values for PT Studios, on the database we can see the child node has the correct name and the data sent is stored. This is how we save data with REST client. Step 7. Load logic. For retrieving the data, we'll take the gaming name as an input and will fetch health and damage for it. Let's go to the Firebase script and start writing the code. We will create a private player data variable. Then we'll create a getToDatabase function which will take string gaming name as a parameter. Inside the function we'll write REST client.get of type player data with the URL plus the gaming name. Now when the call is successful, we want to set the health and damage values for this. We will add dot then at the end and inside we'll create a callback block. Inside this block we will call a function from the UI interaction script. Let's go to the UI interaction script and write that function. In the UI interaction script, we will create a public void function, set the value which will take two parameters, health and damage of type int. Inside the function, it will just set the values to the health text and the damage text. After completing this function, we will go back to the Firebase script again and inside the callback block, we will find the UI interaction script and call the set the value function and pass callback.health and callback.damage as the parameter. We can now also store the callback value in the player data variable that we created. Since we are not using it, we will remove the line number 8. Let's now complete the flow by going to the UI interaction script and calling the getToDatabase function and passing the gaming name as a parameter inside the loadFromFile function. We will cut the debug log from line 35 and paste it on line 42. Now it's time to go to the Unity and test our code. We have gaming name PT Studio on the server, so let's pass it and press load. As you can see, we got damage and health in our text and got a debug message saying loading completed from Firebase. This is how we save and load data on Firebase using REST Client API. Now we will take a look at how to save and load using the Firebase SDK. Using the Firebase SDK is the second way of saving and loading data on real-time database in Unity. Step 1. Set up the application on the Firebase console. For the setup, let's go to the Project Overview tab and click on Add App button. You will see multiple options for platform. We will select Unity. We will now register our application on Firebase. We are using this for Android platform, so we will register it under the Android tab. The same process is there for iOS platform. We need to add our package name here. Package names are unique names that can be used to find our applications online. It's very similar to how domains work. In the player settings, under the other settings tab, we will find bundle identifier. Bundle identifier is the package name. You can change this package name as you want. We will copy this and paste it on the Firebase console and register the application. It will then ask us to add a config.json file to our Unity project. So let's quickly do that. This config file will have the Firebase links and other important data. Once the config file is added to the project, it will then ask us to download the SDK. We will download this SDK later. We can also install the Firebase SDK using the registry scope. Since the method is no longer supported by the Google team, we will download and import the SDK manually. Documentation is the best way to understand the tool, so let's go to the Firebase documentation. Step 2. Download and importing the SDK. I have already downloaded the Firebase SDK, so let's go to Unity and import it. You will get two DLL errors. Those errors are platform dependent. Since we are not using iOS, these errors will come, but they won't affect the flow. We will switch to the Android platform. It will then resolve some dependencies. This may take some while. Step 3. Project setup. In the player settings, we will change the scripting backend to IL2CPP and the API compatibility version to .NET 4X. Step 4. The basic logic. First, we will change the script name to server logic. If we use the old name, then there will be conflict with Firebase SDK. We will follow the documentation page and will understand and write our code. Let's go to the save data page. For any interaction with the Firebase, we need to get the database reference in the start method. Let's clean our code by commenting out the REST client code as it is no longer needed. We also no longer need the Firebase link variable. As you can see in the start method, we are using Firebase database.defaultinstance.root reference. It will take the Firebase link from the config.json file that we imported. So let's comment out that variable. For saving data, there are 5 methods. There's a lot of pseudocode here to understand each and every method. You can take a look at that. We will use setRawJSON value, which takes a JSON string of data and stores it. Let's create our functions now. We will create 2 functions, public void save data and a public void load data. Step 5. Save data. Save data function will take a parameter of type player data. We'll create a JSON string which will hold the player data values that we receive as a parameter. String JSON is equals to JSON utility dot to JSON and we'll pass player data here. Now we want to write the string on the Firebase. For that, we'll have to call it from the database reference that we have in the start. It's a local variable for start method and we cannot use it outside start. So we'll have to create it as a global variable so that we can use it anywhere outside the start method. A reference is the link that we used to store in the Firebase link variable for the REST client. Now we have to structure our database. We'll create a new child player and inside that, for each player we'll create a new child. To achieve this, we'll type reference.child open parenthesis player close parenthesis dot child and open parenthesis player data dot name close parenthesis dot set raw JSON value and we'll pass JSON string variable that we created. To make this work, we'll have to go to the UI interaction script and comment out our old code and we'll type find object of type server logic and we'll call save data function there and we'll pass player data as its parameter. Let's save and test out our code. Let's enter the name as Panch Tanmatra Studios and a health of 100 and a damage of 150. When we press save and go to Firebase, we can see the data is stored there. Under the player's child name, there is a name called child and which will hold the values that we have entered. Let's pass one more user value and see if it got saved or not. Now let's move to step 6, loading data. We will pass the name and it will fetch the health and damage. Let's go to the documentation of retrieve data. It has a list of events that can be used. Let's copy the pseudocode and paste it in Visual Studio. We will change the get reference parameter from leader to player with its child name. Now we are in the player node. Inside that we want to find the data for a particular name. So we will take string gaming name as a parameter in loading data function. We will use the order by child function to find the gaming name. If it is successful, we will retrieve it as a data snapshot. This holds all the values for the user and we will convert it to JSON. For that we will type string JSON is equals to snapshot.getChild gaming name dot raw JSON value. We will create a player data variable so that we can convert the JSON string and save the values into the player data variable. After we are done writing the values in the player data variable, let's write a debug message and call this method in the UI interaction script. This will still not work as Firebase works on a different thread than the Unity mono behavior. To make it sync, we'll create a new script called Unity main thread. Inside this script, I'll create a queue of jobs. I won't get into the code logic of how it works as it is a completely new topic. So I'll fast forward the video. You can pause the video to understand the code. In the server logic script, whatever we want to perform, we'll pass it inside the add job. Now we have fixed the threading issue, but still it is not giving us a callback. So for the callback, we'll create a delegate. Delegates can be used for many things. We will use it for giving callbacks. We will create a public delegate named giveMeData, which will return us a player data. Inside the parameter, we will take player data. To make this work, we will add the delegate giveMeData to the parameter of load data. We will then pass the local variable player data that we created inside the load data function to the delegate. Now the logic is complete. Let me explain again what's exactly happening. When we call the load data function, it will fetch the values from the server. It will then add the process in the queue on the thread. Once we get the values, we pass them as a callback to be used anywhere in the project. Once we get a callback, then the job is done and the thread moves to the next job in the queue. This is what's happening in the code. Let's go to the UI interaction script and complete the flow. We will create a private player data function called load data from Firebase with parameter player data. This function's return type and parameter should be the same as the delegates. We will pass this new function in the load data function that we are calling on line 36. Inside the function load data from Firebase, we need to set the values to the text. Let's cut and paste the line inside the set the value function to our new function and let's delete the set the data value function. Since it is returning player data, we'll return our player data variable. Let's quickly update the code and to make it functional, let's go to Unity and check the functionality of our code. In Unity, we have to add the Unity main thread script to the scene. Let's play the game and pass the gaming name PT Studio, and as you can see, we get the values from the server. It may take few seconds depending upon the data size and your internet speed. This is how we save and load data using the Firebase SDK on real-time database. In this video, we stored and retrieved our data on Firebase real-time database. You can store any complex structure if you follow this tutorial. In this tutorial, we used both the methods REST Client API and Firebase SDK. You can use either one based on your comfort and the project. If this video was helpful, let me know in the comments below and don't forget to like this video. Also subscribe to the channel for future tutorials and videos.